We're live. All right. What's up, guys? Welcome to this stream. Today, we're interviewing Zach and talking about how Zach went from insecure, low understanding of his self-worth to clarity in his purpose, clarity in who he wants to be, where he wants to go. And because of that, increased confidence in his ability to talk to girls and how to just expand his network. And the fact that he has expanded his network, crazy. Crazy. I made the thumbnail of this interview, you with Grant Cardone, actually. When was that? And can you tell us a story of that before we get into, your whole backstory?
What picture?
It's you and Grant's, it's like a selfie, and Grant's like,
Is there a picture of a gorilla behind us?
I don't think so. Have you done them multiple times?
Yeah. So
Oh, you have?
crazy story. Yeah. So I met him at one of his 10x Growth Con events. I've been following him for a year and a half, which was 2 years ago, and he was all about business. And my dad owns a construction company. I own a couple of businesses myself. So I told my dad, we have to go here no matter what. Like, spend the money, invest the money. Let's just go see what he's about. We bought mid-level tickets. 5 minutes into walking into this event, seeing what it was, my dad took a step back and he's like, Zach, no, we're doing this wrong. We went up to the front tables and he goes, I don't care what you have to do. I want the highest level tickets you can get. Here's my credit card. Do it. They found the highest level tickets, and we basically were able to meet Grant, meet his wife, his kids, his whole network. Craziest weekend. Go on the yachts, meet millionaires, billionaires, real estate moguls. It was just absolutely insane. But the reason why we went to the event was to blow up the business.
Wow. Your dad's business, the construction business.
Yeah, we
That's
just
awesome.
sort of partnered. It's called Red Rock Industries. We basically are working with a branch of one of Grant's companies, and the growth that we're experiencing is just insane. And I actually, the beginning of this year in January, I went up in like a Shark Tank pitch and partnered with him.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Before we continue and maybe talk a little more about that, check the settings on your mic because I think you're actually connected to your computer. It doesn't sound like a Shure microphone right now. I don't know if you're able to do that.
Yeah.
But if you're able to change it. Basically, what I want to do is start off, and we'll get back to the Grant Cardone stuff, but I want to know where you were before you joined Tribe Accelerator and why you joined it. What were the main problems that you were experiencing?
Can you hear me now?
It's about the same. It's not awful, but I can just kind of tell it's not through the Shure.
Interesting. Can you work with it?
Yeah, it's fine.
All right. Yeah, so before I joined TA, like I said before, insecure, unconfident, didn't really know how to talk to anyone, was afraid to go up to people, to talk to people, didn't know my self-value, my self-worth. I like right now, speaking with you, I'd be turning red, I'd be sweating, I wouldn't know what to say, blood just going all over the place, and I didn't know who I wanted to hang out with. I had no real direction in my life. It's kind of going all over the place. And it got to a point where I actually was extremely depressed, had a lot of anxiety. I was, throughout high school, I was the shortest kid, high school and middle school, the shortest kid with the highest voice, higher than every girl. I got picked on myself. I also helped others that got picked on, which got me picked on even more. And there was one point where I said, I don't want to go to school anymore. I don't want to do anything. And I actually had thoughts about, as crazy as it might sound right now, like I don't even want to say it, but suicide at points. It was just insane. So from that point on, I realized this isn't really how I want my life to be, because I saw everyone going traveling, going to parties. I would constantly watch your videos on college life, seeing all those parties, and just thinking, wow, like what do I have to do to be able to have that lifestyle? And that's when I got into personal development, personal growth, whatever you want to call it. First started with Tony Robbins, bought a lot of his courses, a lot of his books. And then, like I said, I started watching your videos. And then I found one of your videos on mindset and books and social proof. And I remember it was in Miami. My twin sister went out to a club, and I'm like, nah, I'm going to stay back, watch some of Arlen. And I DM'd you because you said, DM me if you want to get this webinar or something. And I'm like, screw it, we're just gonna send it. So I DM you, and then you sent me the link, and that was for the TA, and you basically were going through the slides.
Right at the beginning of 2022, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm looking at it, I'm like, dude, this is literally exactly what I want, like what I picture. And at that time, I was saying to myself, like, there's no way that you're ever gonna get this. Like, there's no possible way that you could go from where you are, where I was at that time, to like where I am now. So I said, let's just send it. Let's buy the course. Let's get into this group chat. And I did it. And I gotta say, my personality is like, as soon as I invest in someone, they automatically have like my trust, and then I become loyal to them. So as soon as that happened, then Max, C, Course Builder, all these other courses just followed up. But I gotta say, TA, the community with the guys inside there is just insane. I jumped on a couple of calls with people, and I told them in the first week I met more guys that I was aligned with than in my 19 years living.
Yeah. The community is pretty powerful, huh?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So you were in that first cohort of guys that joined the start of this year. And what was that like? I mean, you were going through the content video by video and reaching out to guys. Like, how did that feel when you started meeting guys who were, driven like you, but also had some of these problems socially? How was that experience?
It was amazing. First reaching out to the guys, though, it felt extremely weird.
At first, yeah.
Jumping out of my skin type of weird. But jumped on the calls, and like I was saying before, when I was on the calls, I'm like, what do I say? What do I say? How do I prove myself to this person? And it was awesome because the guys on those calls were just like-minded. They wanted growth. They were improving on themselves. The whole community, if you join TA, you're there for a specific reason. Everyone's there for the common reason. That's what I've found in myself. And it's like frequencies coming together. It's energy coming together, and it builds. And the guys on TA community jumping on those calls were amazing. I mean, I have a lot of ideas that go through my head every single day, and I'm able to tell them. And it's like,
who are you closest with?
Who am I closest with? I'd probably say Avery or Will Coomer.
Yep.
Love those guys. JT also. There's so many guys though. But they would guys would say, that's an amazing idea. Roll with that. Here's something you could use off of that. Or that idea, I don't know if that's gonna work, and then help revolve around that idea. It's just so supportive.
Yeah. And so you hadn't experienced something like that before. Like, what was your friend circle like before that?
I'm about to get roasted. It was nothing like that. I mean,
just different.
It was, a lot different. The guys who I was hanging around, honestly, didn't seem like they were going for growth.
Yeah.
Smoking weed, drinking alcohol, getting drunk, doing stupid things on the weekends, on the weekdays, just talking about random stuff. It was just sort of like a negative environment that I couldn't get out of. But it was funny, as I started to get out of it, people start to realize that, and then I got comments of like, "What do you think, you're better than everyone?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why are you ditching that?" So that hit hard too.
Yeah. And so you're able to, I would assume you would, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but as that was happening, as you were growing, you were able to lean on the community and tribe, because I'm sure they were experiencing some similar things. Because I know that's a very common issue. You know, as you start to grow, you start to work on yourself. Your older friends that are not doing that, you know, they have some signals that they want to send you, and it's difficult unless you have guys that are on your team.
100%. A lot of the guys in the community actually said the same thing that they went through. It was extremely similar. Some of the people, though, that said, like, "Why are you leaving? Like, what's up? Why'd you leave this group chat? Why are you talking to us less? Why are you hanging out less?" Actually, fast forward to like present day, DM me now saying they love what I'm doing. They love seeing the content on social media, and it's inspiring them to make a move in their life.
That's usually how it happens. You know, initially there's pushback. It's like, what are you doing? And then you stick to it and you actually start having some results. And pretty soon they start messaging you like, hey, how do I get involved? How are you doing all this? So, okay. So you had a great experience with the community. You're still in touch with some of those guys today. I'm curious, like, how was your experience going through the course content?
It was absolutely amazing. I'm at college right now, and when you started posting week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, I would be in my room, not even going out, just stuck in my room, binge watching these videos over and over and over, going through the worksheets. That was basically my social life at the time, like my whole life, just through those videos, because it was so engaging, yet so informative. Even when I was traveling, I traveled a lot this year and last year, and that's the only thing that would be on my computer and on my phone, the videos.
Yeah, they're pretty in depth, huh?
Yeah, the value that's provided to them is just enormous.
What were some of the aha moments that you had? I know you mentioned one before we hopped on here, but could you walk people through some of the aha moments that you had that helped you with the insecurity?
Yeah. One of them was 7 levels deep.
7
Like the
levels
why.
of why, yeah.
Yeah, 7 levels of why. I've heard of that before. I never did it. But I went through the exercise with one of my coaches, and we got to a point where I think it was the 5th or 6th level where I totally stopped, and I started speaking from my actual soul. Like, that never happened to me before.
Yeah.
And then the 7th level brought out so many insecurities of mine that whether I knew it or I didn't know it, it brought it up, and it actually made me start to cry.
Yeah.
Because it was
That's
so
pretty
impactful.
common.
That was probably one of the biggest things. Another thing I remember is there's one of the videos talking about the line in the sheet. The sheet was the line coming out. And I went outside into my truck, and I did it in my truck, and I was just screaming at the top of my lungs, and it felt so good. Stuff like that just absolutely released a part of me that I was trapped inside. Because, like, the person who I am now, I like to say that I was absolutely trapped, like a door that had a lock on it.
Yeah.
And through those exercises, doing those things, I broke the lock off, and I absolutely threw this unconfident, insecure little bitch out the window.
Yeah.
And then another thing was the meditation. I've always heard of meditation. I'd never really been a big person about it in the past. I've done a lot of different things, but I started pushing myself to meditate every single day. And one of the things that I found was as I meditate, the first couple minutes were so hard. Like the mind's going, the body's going. I don't want to be there. But after I go longer and longer and longer, everything starts to quiet, and it's just so peaceful. Like I enjoy being with myself, and that time in my life, I would always look for other people to hang out with, other things to do, to put into my time. That also brought out a huge eye-opener perspective of mine for who I was and being okay with myself. So when I'm in a social situation, or doing something, going out, talking to people, I'm not like, oh, what do I say? What do I do? I'm just so in tune and relaxed, know who I am. And it's just, it flows so easily. And then people feel that energy, I've seen.
How do you mean?
As far as the energy?
Yeah, you said people feel my energy. What does that look like?
Yeah. So I was in a conversation with one person and with a couple people, and it's weird to say, but when I'm talking to people, I can almost like feel their energy, their vibe. If it's good or bad, like what level their frequency is. And that's another way of me judging, like, do I want to be around this person or not? But I was talking to someone and they said, Zach, I just want to tell you real quick. I love hanging around you. I love being around you. There's something about you. It's like your energy is just so impactful. It brings me up. It makes me feel better. Makes my day. You're just so relaxed, carefree, yet you get stuff done. I love being around you. And I'm like, wow.
You're like, that's what Arlen said would happen.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's funny. So previously you thought meditation was stupid.
Yeah.
Not stupid, but you just didn't care to
didn't.
give it time. And it was hard. And it was, your thoughts were going crazy. So then you started doing it and you started to realize that over time, your thoughts, your negative thoughts, you start to be okay with them ultimately.
Yeah. I realized throughout the meditation, I always hit this one point where it's just calm, bliss. Like I'm not even myself. I'm just the soul, like a being of energy. And everything is like almost if you're in outer space for me, it's just quiet and silent. And I could go for hours and hours and hours at that point. And when I open my eyes, when I wake, all the energy, all the emotions, all the thoughts just simply go away. And I'm able to put myself into that same position in any event, in any situation in my life at that point.
Okay, so we're actually kind of going through the course itself. It's like you're discussing week 1, you really got engaged with the community. Week 2, you're doing the silent retreat, the mindset exercises. Week 3, we talk about branding and your origin story and starting to view your Instagram as more of a brand than just a place where you put stupid pictures. What was your experience like with week 3, and how have you learned to brand yourself, and how has that changed your life?
First of all, before we even get into this, I just want to say thank you to you for this, because this was such a huge part. I was on Instagram when I was really, really young, and I just posted pictures, but I saw even you, Adam, saw everyone posting these insane pictures and having sort of vibe to the Instagram. And I've always wanted to improve it, just never knew how. But I think branding yourself is so important, especially the Instagram. Going into the Instagram, I archived so many pictures of back in the day. And what I mostly learned is there's one of your templates that goes through the different types of pictures to actually take. And I realized how important it was, like the positioning of it, where you're with, where the background is. And I started to realize that in order to increase the value of myself, of like my page, doing more high value activities with more high value people increases it so much more.
You actually show that, right?
Yeah, 100%. And I went skydiving by myself. That was absolutely insane. And especially having girls in pictures, whether you tag them or not tag them, that was huge for me too. I think my Instagram went from like, I would have rated it from like a 2 to now it's, I'd say, an 8 or something.
Yeah, your Instagram's awesome.
Appreciate that. Thanks to you. Yeah. That picture with Grant was one of the worksheets that you had said if you have any pictures with high influence people. So I'm like, okay, that's one.
Yeah.
And then
this one's sick too.
Yeah, that one my twin sister took. So
this one's good too.
Yeah.
This one's sick. Yeah, your page is sick. Oh, there we are. You want to talk about this? How was your experience? Because now we can get back to week 3 and week 4, but this was the live event.
Yeah.
How was that?
That was insane. That was absolutely insane. First of all, the time at the house, going to the beach, talking with you, Adam, everyone was just such a great time with like-minded people, yet it was so funny and informative. Like, we were just having the best time, learning so much information, vibing, chilling with the guys. And then that retreat was probably one of the coolest things that I've done in my whole life to that point. Going in the lake, that
ice
was,
bath, yeah.
Dude.
So for those who don't know what Zach's talking about, basically I did a live event with everyone in Tribe. And then the next day we had a paid live. That one was included in Tribe Accelerator. And then we had a paid event where you could go with me and Jan, who's a founder of this company, Beam. It's an augmented reality company. And there were 7 other guys. And we woke up at like 4 a.m. We all slept at the house in LA. And woke up at like 4 a.m. and went to, I was so jet lagged because I had just gotten back from Bali. I was so mad in the morning, and Will Coomer was like a jumping bean. And we drove like 4 hours up into the mountains in Sequoia, and we climbed at 12,000 feet and ended up sleeping overnight on this pond lake. It was freezing cold. We did an ice bath, like a real ice bath. Like it was actually ice in the water. That was an incredible experience. I would love to do that again soon too. Maybe I'll make that an annual thing.
That would be insane.
Yeah.
That would be absolutely insane. I remember walking through those woods. That I trained for like a week to get ready for that hike. But walking up those woods was not really that big of a challenge for me physically. Although I was getting a bit tired at one point, so I had to push through. But just spiritually, like mentally, being in the woods with the trees, the water going, the snow, the sun, a little breeze, I felt so connected throughout the whole experience. Just like one with nature, with the whole earth, with the universe. It was just so amazing.
Yeah, what tell us, I mean, You had the back surgery. Can you tell us about that? Because that obviously played a factor in all this.
Yeah. So back surgery was a year and 3 or 4 months ago.
Okay.
When I was growing up, I basically, like I said before, was the shortest person, and then I hit a growth spurt, and I just shut up, which was pretty cool until I realized that I was getting winded insanely quick in soccer, surfing, everything. My coach actually yelled at me at one point for not being able to run, for not running too much. But we realized that there was a hump in my back, and my spine was actually crushing my lungs, so I couldn't get air into all my lungs, which was winding me. Did a couple of checkups with the doctors, went through 3 or 4 doctors, and then fast forward to last checkup, we were going in. I knew that I was going to have to get back surgery, and I was telling my parents, and they were saying, "No, you're okay." But I think I hit 48% curve on my back, and that was really crazy. I mean, wasn't flexible at all. Sports was deteriorating. Especially when you take your shirt off at the beach or the pool and everyone looks at you and goes, "What the hell's wrong with you?"
Yeah.
That wasn't that fun for me. But he told me that I'm gonna have to go for surgery either in the summer or the winter. And my dad told me to do it in the winter, in the summer, so get over with. So basically, I just said, let's do it in the summer. Condensed 3 months of summer into like 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks. Parties, surfing, trips, traveling, and everything. And then I went in that day, and my life changed with that surgery. I mean, I thought I was going to go in and crush it, get out of the hospital in like 2-3 days, recover in a couple weeks, wind up staying in the hospital for basically a full week. Second night there was one of the hardest nights of my life. I was in so much pain I couldn't take it. I was on pills, but they weren't even helping, and I basically just almost gave up. I surrendered into the pain. I just let it overtake me, and then I passed out. And then I woke up and I said, from each day forward, no matter what I do, I will never quit. I will keep on going. I will keep on progressing in my life, no matter what. And that night, that second night, being in the hospital, like I said before, 100% changed my life, who I am now, how I, my mindset, my belief, and ever since that day, whether it's through working out or courses, I've been doing courses, I've been reading books, I've been taking in different types of research on the body and the mind and everything. And I would wake up every 3 hours in the night and be crying because of the fire in my back.
Yeah.
That I could feel. It was one of the most brutal experiences I've gone through.
So that's why when I show this video footage, people will now understand, like, this is from the live event that you were talking about at the house. But when we did the early morning hike, or we woke up at 4 a.m, Jan guided us. Well, we were doing, let's see, this. You're a guy with screws in his back.
Yeah.
We had to be pretty mindful of that, you know? But yeah, this was a time, bro. This was so much fun.
That was insane.
Shit. While you're breathing well, slow it down. Power. Slow it down. Motherfucker. Slow. Control.
Good shit, boys. Good shit.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Ay, ay, ay! Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, that was fun, man. That was a good time. So let's see. I want to tap back into we can get back into live event stuff if we need to, but so you redig your Instagram, you learned about branding. Week 4 was starting to put on the events and such. Did you create any events yourself? Obviously it's also about attending events, and I know you're a big event guy, Grant Cardone type stuff. Anything stick out for you there?
So for events, I didn't make any, but I'm now talking with a lot of guys here at college about making events. One of the events I want to create is a content influencer bi-weekly gathering. So anyone who's good with camera, making videos, wants to start a YouTube channel, Instagram channel, clothing brand, something like that, for us all to come together. Those worksheets too that you put out for the gatherings, I've always been a huge person who wants to throw a party. Mm-hmm. I remember when I was in high school, I'd compete with my twin sister for like who could throw the best parties. Always annihilate her with that. That I remember I threw a party in high school. I think we had like 80 people, 90 people during COVID. Time of people's lives, but those social gatherings I'm going to be doing more of. I find those so helpful and powerful just because you're able to bring together a group of high value people along with meeting more. So I could bring in my friend Gabe, and he could know 2 other high value guys and 2 other high value females that want to start creating content. Meet them. Now I know 2 girls. Now I know their friends and their friends, and then make a huge, insane bi-weekly gathering with everyone. I find that a big opportunity and a way to meet new people.
Yeah, I trust you'll be pretty good at it, having been to, obviously the tribe one, but also your Grant Cardone experiences. You know how these kind of events should work. Well, that's awesome. Is there anything else? Any other aha moments that you had throughout going through the course or meeting guys in the community, or any sticking points that you were able to overcome that you haven't talked about?
What I want to bring up is the social talking. So one of the videos that I watched with my roommate Chris too, was walking up to girls, like the Go game. Yeah. That I loved. I mean, before that video, before the TA even going through the course, I could not speak to girls in general for my life. I was always.
What would happen? What would happen?
Like you'd say, go up to that girl, say hi, just to say hi. I couldn't even walk up to a girl and say hi. If I'm like standing, what would happen? Red face, sweating, nervous, wouldn't be able to speak, wouldn't know what to say. Just leave. I literally would, like, I'd want to go up, but I wouldn't know what to say. Like, I convinced myself there's nothing between us that we could even talk about. Like, my mind shut every option down. Mm-hmm. And then I watched the video with you and Emma and you going out on the college campuses, and I'm like, wow, you really don't need a pickup line at all. Like, first of all, and then second of all, the things you were saying, like the process, the step through you're going somewhere, or you're a high value guy, you're actually going somewhere, and you just, hey, do you know where Nobu is? Awesome. By the way, what's your name? blah, 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 all that stuff. It was very, very informative to me. That helped me out so much, especially now on campus, because this year I took that advice and I actually DM'd a couple girls on Instagram from my school, and turns out now we hang out basically every single weekend, go to parties together, hang out together. Now I know basically all of her friends. She knows all of my friends. And it's just so seamless, and it's not awkward at all anymore. It's just like I'm having a conversation with you.
That's good. That's an important skill, being able
Yeah.
to talk to girls.
Yeah, big.
I love it. I love it. Awesome. All right. Well, I guess the last question I would ask you, Zach, is if there was someone who's on the fence about joining Tribe Accelerator, what would you tell them?
I'd say, can't say that because I don't want to curse. I'd say why you're on the fence. Honestly, Tribe is one of the best courses that I've bought in my life. The community of guys, the content that's in there, the information that's in there is so valuable. If you're stuck on possibly the money aspect, how do you expect to get anything in return if you're not willing to give something at first? I feel like that's what people get so stuck on, because a lot of my friends from back home too, they say, that price, I can't even pay that. My mentality is I'm willing to give, I'm willing to pay if I'm going to be able to have progress, to see progress in my life. And I have another friend who also, not even with price, but he just personally doesn't think that he can talk to people, doesn't think he can do stuff. So if you're thinking like, I don't know, is TA really worth it? And is it nothing's going to help me.
Self-belief.
Yeah. You have to believe yourself. And then one other thing I could think of people is like, if someone says, well, isn't someone already making this content? Like, this is common sense. You would really think that it is, but the content that's in TA is so powerful, combined with the group of people, the community of guys, and then the trips on top of it. The features and benefits, the advantages, they all stack up. So if you're on the fence, get off the fence and sign up to TA. It's going to be the best choice decision you've made.
Epic. Do you have any plans coming up soon? I know you're working on launching a course right now.
Yeah.
Do you have any social plans, anything, meeting up with Will or any of those guys?
Yeah, so end of September, going down to Florida for another event. Then I'm going to surprise my twin sister at Penn State in like 2 or 3 weeks. And then I'm planning on making travel arrangements to Florida, Arizona, Bahamas, California, and Bali in the next couple months.
Are you going to go with Tribe guys to Bali?
Huh?
Are you going with TA guys to Bali? Because I know they're planning a Bali trip.
I'm going to have to then, yeah.
Epic.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I have Zach's Instagram up on the screen if you guys want to check him out, see what he's up to. Shoot him a message, whatever. And Jack, it was good having you on here. And thanks for sharing your story. I'm sure a lot of people resonate with, the problems that you dealt with. So thanks for being on the show.
100%. Thanks for having me, man. Appreciate everything.